Running Sentences presents a short story, A War of Candy. There is a war going on between factions of candy, and plenty has to be reported on. The news anchor who has to tell you the story of what's going on. This story is written and narrated by Michael Henry. It is a work of fiction, so any names, characters, businesses, events, and situations within this story are of the author's imagination. Any resemblance to real people, situations, characters, businesses, events, and/or fictional ones is purely coincidental. Copyright 2024, Michael Henry. All rights reserved. News anchor Stillwart McGlint is at his news reporting desk, staring at the camera. Papers are being pushed towards him, a stack of them, with the latest headlines, none of which he has time to read, as the countdown is about to end for going live. Instead, he grins and bears it. Good morning, afternoon, and night, and wherever you are this terrible day. I'm your news reporter, Stillwater McGlint, with the news from the front. That's right, this is the latest edition of what's going on in the world of fighting candy. The news of how the brave soldiers of chocolate to gummies to whatever else is out there are throwing their lives away to keep you protected. But more on that in a few seconds. First, we have to have our little splash screen welcoming you to tonight's show. The light above the camera goes off, and now more papers are pushed onto the desk. This time a bit bigger in a stack. The counter above the camera reads 10 seconds before they're back. He only has time to give a cursory glance to things before him with a shake of his head. And then he has to look back at the cameras before him. Welcome back to my show! Tonight we're going over the chocolate and milk battlefronts as the two sides rage against one another for supremacy. There is also the land of gummy creatures, which find themselves constantly under attack by the dreaded ropes of licorice, who want all the gummies have to offer. Another stack of papers are thrown onto the desk and spill all over the place, much larger than the last ones. Stillwart McGlint ignores this for the moment. The battle of chocolate and milk, though, is taking center stage around the world. These two are locked into a year-long battle over how the two should and can be combined to make something delicious. Chocolate is taking up the definition that since they're the main ingredient, they get the ultimate say in the process of making candy. Milk, though, wants a greater say, and thinks that without it, there would be no deliciousness. There is a flash of light, meaning breaking news, as Stillwart McGlint stiffens for a moment, while more papers he doesn't have time to read are stuffed onto the desk. Part of this news desk is now starting to become obscured and hard to see over, but it is off to his side, so we can still see him. The battles are being fought across the stores and lands that grow these products. Some say that the cows have magically disappeared in some instances, while crop fields growing cocoa plants have seen random flooding. The fight continues, with neither side giving in but are trying to recruit other factions to their side. And now we have time for a short break, and to make sure I have a chance to read all that is on my desk at the moment. McGlint signals towards the papers as the light above the camera, signaling that they are live, fades out. He then grabs for the biggest stack of papers, as a new one is shoved onto the opposite side of the desk. He barely has time to comprehend this when he hears the countdown in his ear to go live again. With a scowl, all he gets to look at is the first page of a stack before his attention is pulled back to the camera. With a grin, he continues. It is said that forces of peanut butter may take a side any day now, if forced into the matter. That is, if the other butter types don't make a choice first. Sources say that hazelnut is in strong contention to... A siren went off, this time with more papers from breaking news being stuffed onto the desk. Thankfully this time, his earpieces come to life to tell him now what has happened. I am getting some reports from the front. It is big news. Hazelnut has declared it will join the side of milk in an effort to bring the war to an end. The spread of this stuff is said to be leaking across the borders and will soon attack cocoa at any moment. No one knows how many will fall, when they arrive, at what destination, or if really this will bring an end to this conflict. But we will have more news on that matter soon. But now, we must turn to the next problem facing the world: gummies and licorice. Before he can get much further, another pile of papers begins to drop onto the desk. This one's from above. Dodging out of the way, moving his body this way and that, they just fall all over the place, as the desk is now mostly obscured from view. And McGlint must now stand to be seen. Well, I don't know how much longer I can bother you with all this news dropping in on me, but I will say this. The war between gummies and licorice is a fierce one, set far away from those other wars of candy. Despite the gummy candy and its many supporters, the licorice side refuses to go down and will continue to fight an underhanded war. They've more into guerrilla surprising attacks, popping into candies with its aniseed-like taste, and trying to get people to their side, while gummies continue to just say no. Bounds and bounds of papers continue to fall and begin to bury McGlint under it, drowning out his last words. The end of a war of candy. Thank you for listening.